Welcome to Center Point-Urbana, where Independence will be taking on North Linn here first on the black mat on the left-hand side of your screen. Center Point-Urbana second, and then Marion third round here. So they're going through introductions right now. We'll be starting at heavyweight here in just a little bit.
Play with the singing of our national anthem, performed by Center Point-Urbana's Brady Tubon.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, while the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed. Thoughts bursting
All right, welcome here to Center Point tonight, where the Independence Mustangs are going to be in having three dual meets this evening, with Independence starting off tonight versus North Linn. They've added North Linn into this dual meet this year, which is kind of a nice addition, and looks like we're going to be starting with the heavyweights. So for Independence, that's junior Drew Evans, and I'm going to see which mat we're going to go to here. But North Linn does have it listed as being open, and so we're going to find out. North Linn has a few open weights. Tough thing about wrestling and having 14 weights we got to get to, but so started off here, and indeed Drew Evans takes a forfeit victory, so puts the Mustangs up here 6-0. We're going to go right on to 106, and for Independence, we have Brock Eldridge. Had been wrestling 113 pounds, and I think he's down to the 106-pound weight for us. And North Linn has Dominic Engrave listed. And so this will be Eldridge's first opportunity here at 106. There's a nice shot. So Brock does a great job of getting that ankle and bringing the guy down to the mat, instantly into a cradle, and coming out. Eldridge really doing a nice job coming out aggressive. Has the cradle locked up pretty tight and looking good here. So Eldridge coming out nice and aggressive. 106, sometimes not too easy to make a little bit of a cut, and he looks like he's done that and coming out and wrestling pretty tough. So we'll keep things moving here for the Mustangs. There we go, there's a fall. So Brock Eldridge doing a great job, comes out on a great single, gets the ankle, takes the wrestler from Northland down, and locks up the cradle right away and gets that fall. So quick 12-0 lead, the Mustangs over Northland. Now 113 pounds, and this will be Thomas Madison. Thomas's first opportunity back at 113 pounds. And I think he's pretty anxious to go. It looks like he's going to be wrestling Heath Moyer of Northland. And we're going to get things restarted here. I think they wasn't quite. I think they're having a hard time here with getting the scoreboard going, but Madison usually wrestles at a pretty high pace, and usually it does not lack for action, so try to keep up with it. Other mat, we have Center Point wrestling Marion, and we'll have opportunity to wrestle those as well. So Moyer in on a Russian tie and drops into the single leg. Madison trying to get a little bit of crossface, get his hips back, and he's doing a really nice job there. So Madison does a great job on crossface and gets hips back and gets 2 points. Moyer up quickly. So Madison drops in on the legs, comes back out behind. Still in control. So 2-0 here, Thomas Madison. And they're going to go out of bounds, and he's going to give a 1-point escape. So that's some good early action in the first period. It's a 2-1 lead, Thomas Madison over Heath Moyer, Northland. So Madison kind of really just kind of grinding in on it, get double leg there, just kind of just trying to push his way in through there. Moyer did a nice job so far of countering and that, but Madison's getting leg. Moyer's trying to come around, get that leg free so he can get 2 points. Madison's doing a nice job of battling that, but he's now belly down, so it's going to be a little bit tougher. So gives up the takedown, so that does give the lead 3-2, pardon me. Moyer over Madison. So Moyer, actually I don't know his grade, they don't have it listed here, but it's a common name anyway over that way. Then they roll out of bounds. So we're going to start with Thomas Madison in the down position with 25 seconds to go here in the first. Down 3-2, so going to try to see if we can work on an escape and at least get this thing evened up, and comes up but doesn't quite clear the elbow, and now he's in he's giving up single chicken wing in half. Fight this off for another 15 seconds. Madison's coming up, but that's going to be at the end of the first period. So some good action early. Madison able to get that 2-point takedown, did a nice job. And Moyer was able to get an escape, and then Madison was in on a double leg, and Moyer countered that and ended up getting a takedown of his own. So that's how we get to 3-2. And so red defers, and so Madison's going to go ahead and choose neutral. Feels pretty good on his feet here, and he should. He's had some good shots. So it's good to see him back in the lineup. So where it looks like he's kind of wanting to get that elbow and get into a bit of a Russian tie, and Madison wants to kind of stay out of that and shoot from a little bit further out. But Got a near side underhook here, and yeah, a lot of action there. Kind of near side underhook, and it looked like he was going to drop in on a single, but Moyer was able to get that whizzer in, and so not able to get that takedown. So back on our feet. And there's a nice double leg. It turned the corner by Moyer, gets the takedown, extends his lead up to 5-2. And Madison's in a little bit deeper weeds here, and it's pretty flat. So Madison looked like he was a little bit slow after that last takedown, and unfortunately, just kind of got turned there and gives up the fall. So after 113, that takes the team score. Independence 12, North Linn 6. So brings us to 120 pounds, and where North Linn is reported as open, as is Independence. So would be 2 open weights if all stays as it is, which it moves to should be 126, and 126 for Independence has been Braden Holt. Listed for North Linn would be Curtis Schott. So the other match looks like they're at weight-wise. It says 285, but that's clearly that 285 pounder. So maybe on the other mat, looks like they're probably about 120, 126 pounders. So I think we're ready to go now at 126 pounds. And so Independence, Braden Holt. Braden's a sophomore, and versus Curtis Schott, again from North Linn. Not certain at his age, but here we go. So Schott kind of going a 2-on-1 wrist and coming up into a bit of a Russian tie, a lot like our last North Linn wrestler. So kind of learning that in the wrestling room. Holt's palming to back out of that. Holt, a real long, lanky wrestler, and backs out of bounds, and so we're going to restart things. So there's a shot by Holt. He kind of shot the single leg into far single leg and really converts into double leg. Really nice, nice shot, and conversion into double leg, gets a takedown for 2, and quickly shot back onto his feet and hit hand control. Holt doing a nice job, does a nice job of regaining hand control, and unfortunately kept those hands locked, and so he's going to give up a penalty point for some locked hands, but did a nice job with that, and brings it back down to the mat. And so Bob Murphy, longtime official, did a nice job. He's going to stop that. He's going to get a penalty point to Schott for technical violation. So Holt, though, did a nice job of getting that takedown and bringing Schott back to the mat. So he does lead this match 2-1, 126 pounds. Off the whistle, Schott does a nice job getting to his feet. Holt, again, working to bring it back. And Schott not able to get hand control. There's a little bit better, so he's going to. But Braden does a really nice job of bringing it back to the mat. Does get a stalling warning there. Just didn't think he was bringing it back to the mat quite as quickly as he needs to, and shot back to his feet. So going to kind of cut him and see if we can get another takedown. So that does make the match even at 2-2. Hold the takedown and Schott with a 1 point on a technical violation for locked hands and escape. So Schott looking again, kind of go 2-on-1. Holt backing up. He's got to be a little bit careful with that. He's had a stalling warning already, and so we're going to get back to the middle. 11 seconds to go. So Braden had a really nice single leg shot that went into a double. There's a kind of a partial shot, and by shot, Holt does a nice job of getting his hip backs on a sprawl, and was able to get into a an Oklahoma situation, but time ran out for that. So it's going to be green choice. So Independence is going to choose, and well, maybe some discrepancy on what we've got there. So. And we'll see. It's going to be somebody's choice. Not sure if we have any JV matches that are going to get going here, but would certainly think that we should have some JV matches. So Holt is back on top, and shot once again gets a stand up, and Braden not able to bring you back down. Does give up the escape, but a Holt really right in low on the legs and gets that takedown, and then lets shot go. So that's going to even things back up here now. Should be 4-4. Holt has had some success with some takedowns, so got to get back in on those long legs. Getting back to the middle. So in the second period, minute and a half to go in the second period. Holt on a bit of a reshot, had his head down, and so not quite able to get that ankle, but he does a nice job of getting Reese square with Curtis Schott. Shots in on a kind of front headlock and trying to snap Holt down. Braden's doing a really nice job trying to stay square and keep those hips back and stay square. Easier said than done. Easy from the stands, and Schott able to just get that snap and get around, so he gets his takedown of his own. So he takes a 6-2 lead with 49 seconds to go. He's riding the far arm and was riding over top the ankle, so he's staying fairly parallel. Braden is able to come up now, but not quite able to control those hands. So 28 seconds to go here in the second period. And top man really not doing a whole lot, just riding that far wrist, and looked like he was trying to get into seatbelt and kind of get him over, but out of bounds it goes. So 9 seconds to go. Hopefully we can work on a score here in the last 9 seconds. And Holt able to come up, but not quite able to. He's getting some. He's parallel, so not quite able to get any near fall points. His shot looked like he was trying to get him roll through to a tilt situation. So Holt's choice here in the third period is down 6-4. It's going to choose down. So see Coach Donnelly urging him to go down. And so once again, Schott has a far wrist, and from the looks of what he was doing earlier, he's going to work on, I'm sure, trying to get him roll through into a tilt. But Holt doing a nice job of battling, getting his hands free, and is able to. There he's able to get that far wrist free, but kind of gives it up again. And now he's got a ball and chain, so Holt gets those hips away, and just not able to escape there. So he's able to get to his feet and just not quite able to get out. But he's got a little more work to do. And Holt kind of posts up and not able to get that, able to get through in there, and giving up that far wrist, and Schott's able to roll him through onto a tilt, and looks like he's going to get at least 2 points in near fall here, and there's a 2-point near fall. So tough situation. The bottom wrestler's got his head on the mat and his hips up. I mean, you're probably gonna go for a ride there. And Schott's pretty tough on top. Braden had done a nice job on his feet He's down 4 points with 40 seconds to go, so got to keep working here. So 23 seconds to go. We're at 126 pounds for versus North Linn and this dual meet. And so, no, just not able to get that. Able to get that hand control and his hips away, and so Schott is doing a nice job of controlling this match, and 6 seconds to go, and Holt posts, and that's going to do it. So Braden Holt Independence is going to lose by decision to Curtis Schott. So that'll take our team score. Should be Independence 12, North Linn 9. We're on to 132 pounds, where for Independence is Junior Fisher Crawford, and for North Linn is Brady Henderson, and Brady certainly well known. I'm not sure what his ranking is, but it's pretty high. So he gives a partial shot there. So Henderson gets a near side underhook and snaps it up and gets in on a double leg and takes Crawford kind of to his back. So a pretty slick set of movers. So Henderson gets 2-point takedown and a 3-point near fall. So Crawford gonna battle for sure here, but he's gonna have his hands full, and so good forward pressure off the whistle by Henderson. Henderson's staying behind those arms, and now he's able to get Crawford belly down and gets that far arm at the far wrist, and looking to stack and get his. Don't want to get Crawford's hips in the air, but Crawford doing a nice job trying to hand fight, but it's getting to be a losing battle now, and so did a nice job there. So Crawford's giving up the elbow, and he's getting turned. Looks like he's fairly parallel, but Murphy thinks that I guess he's past 45, gives him a 3-point near fall, so that does take the match score now, I believe 8-0. And so 42 seconds to go. Crawford going to look to try to base up, but Henderson does have the single arm bar, and it's going to go half arm bar or near wrist, but at this point Crawford is trying to figure out which way he's going to go and get his hips pointed the opposite direction, but just not able to, and Henderson is able to take him over that single wing and that wrist, that far wrist, and does give up another 3-point near fall. So taking that match score, I believe 11-0, and no points awarded at the end of that. At the end of the first period, Brady Henderson has a 11-0 lead on Fisher Crawford. We're going to start into the second. Henderson's going to choose down. This kind of quickly comes up with an outside stand up and gets one. So Crawford gonna see if he can get on his own offense and get working something. Not a lot to lose at this point, down 12-0 in this match, and so but Henderson coming in and working some control and really just battles through that with hand fighting and drops in on that double leg and gets another 2 points, so 14-0. So at this point, Henderson looking for some match termination, and he's probably going to look for a pin. He wants his 6 points versus match termination for 5, and Crawford's going to do his best to not have a pin anyway. So minute 25 to go, and like to thank some of our sponsors tonight, and Adams Family Furniture, and Cliff Keen Athletics, and there's a tilt on that. So Crawford going to try to get down to his belly. He's given up near fall, so they just award the points. It's going to be a match termination due to technical fall, and there it is. So at least not able to, at least is able to keep from having a fall. And so Team Whites gave up 5 points to a pretty good wrestler there versus 6. So kind of battled, did the things that we needed to do. Does give North Linn the lead in the team score, and so that'll be 14-12. We're on 138 pounds for Independence. Will be Matthew Doyle. Matthew is a sophomore, ranked number 8, I believe, 7 or 8, somewhere in there. And Matthew looks like he's going to wrestle Trevor Cherry, once again from North Linn. Don't know much about this guy, but so we'll see if we can get it going. Other sponsors tonight that we'd like to thank would be Signed Charlie's, Ashton and Tarpey, Napa, Home Indeed, the Indy Mac Club, Iowa High School Sports Network, Shannon Wrestling Tournaments, Signs and More, Smith D&L Insurance, and The Predicament. So, about ready to get going here at 138 pounds. This is our first duel of the night. We'll also have 2 WAMAC duels against Center Point-Urbana as well as Marion. And here we go at 138 pounds. And try to get this lined up for everybody a little better. So it's a nice, nice bit of action, and single leg by low single by Doyle, able to get 2 points, and he's going to let Dawson Sanderson, I guess this is Dawson Sanderson, escape. I looked out for 1 second, I look up, and Doyle's got Sanderson on his back, so looked like I don't know if we had a little trip straight to his back, but it was nice, and Matthew Doyle looking to score some points, and he's got that head tight. He's coming across the body pretty well. So Doyle looking to get some points and some stuff going here for Indy once again. And there it is. There's a fall. So I missed the takedown. Actually, looking down at my thing, I looked out to have Doyle having Sanderson on his back. So Matthew Doyle getting it done here for Independence. And so kind of a bit back and forth. And so Matthew Doyle over Dawson Sanderson. Now we're on to 145 pounds, and 145 pounds for Independence is Brady Webb. Brady back to being healthy here a little bit, and his first match of the season, I believe, and so he is wrestling Trevor Cherry at 138 pounds. So they had at least that's what's listed on here. So. Good to see Brady back into the lineup as well, and get things going. And here we go at 145 pounds. So Brady has an overhook, and Webb in the past, anyway, has been pretty good with some underhooks, and does a nice job from that. They're just trying to get an underhook again, but Cherry really wanting to stay out of that. I don't think he felt too comfortable with Webb having those underhooks. So bit of a feeling out process here, and there's a shot attempt by Cherry, and Webb does a nice job of countering that, getting his hips back on a pretty decent shot attempt, and Webb has that far underhook, and he's trying to trying to get him up, and does a nice job of inside trip. So Webb going to be making me look like I've done some homework here or something. That gets that underhook and gets it in that trip and gets a 2-point takedown. So nice takedown by Webb, taking the lead. So Independence has been pretty good on our feet here early going, but we need to keep it sustained. And so Cherry does a kind of partial stand-up, but Webb brings it back down to the mat and has a an arm bar in, and so looked like Cherry was heading for the out of bounds as quickly as he could, but Webb does a nice job of standing up top those hips and has the legs, and he's got a far elbow. I'm not sure if he's going for a butcher or now he looks like we might try to cradle things up, but Webb, Brady Webb, sophomore riding, pretty tough on top right now, and so ankle pick, and he's going to keep forward pressure on Cherry and try to keep that bottom hand with a lot of pressure over his arms and onto his head. And so Webb now riding over the ankle and did a nice job. He's got that arm once again. He's going to try and pin that arm on his backside, and Webb going to big steps, and he's looking to. He was looking to take him over, and that's going to be the end of that first period. So some nice action here by Brady Webb. Had a nice takedown and some good control against Trevor Cherry, 145 pounds for Independence. So Webb's going to choose down. And bases, it's going to get bases out and looking to maybe control some hands. Cherry's giving some, he's looking to dig that arm out on its own, and Webb does a nice job of trapping the elbow and gets a little bit of a roll, and great job, and getting a 2-point reversal. So Cherry was coming up with a lot of pressure, and Webb able to trap that elbow and get it a good roll. Now he's got the cross face and far elbow, and so he continues to ride pretty hard. Brady Webb up 4-0 over Trevor Cherry. We have a 18-14 dual meet score, so kind of a tight score for Independence and North Linn. We don't usually get to wrestle North Linn too much, so it's kind of nice to wrestle some different guys. And Cherry was able to get to his feet, but Webb does a nice job of keeping wrist control and bringing him right back down and staying in pretty good control. Webb is staying over top that ankle. Doesn't look like Cherry's really moving too much to even try to get out of there. And Webb is, to me, looks like he's doing a pretty good job of getting perpendicular, so fighting to get some back points. Hopefully the official sees it that way. So out of bounds we go, and we'll restart. And Cherry tries to run his feet and get in a little bit of a Granby, and Webb does a nice job of following him. He's in a bit of a tripod situation, and Webb trying to keep a lot of forward pressure onto his hands, but he's able to come up from that. But Webb drops in on the single and turns the corner and maintains control of those hips and puts him back down on the mat, and they go out of bounds. So we'll start with Trevor Cherry once again in the down position, and Brady Webb in top position, 22 seconds to go in this second period, and Cherry tries a bit of a switch, but didn't clear that arm, and so Webb does a nice job of keeping that elbow controlled, and now he's got an arm bar fairly deep, but he's going to have to do something quick with 4 seconds to go, and he's going to pin that on his backside again, but it's going to be the end of the second period. So a period that was pretty well controlled by Brady Webb. He started in down position, ended up getting a 2-point reversal, and so that makes it 4-0. So it looks like Cherry is going to choose a neutral position, and we're going to start on our feet here for the third period. And so we're going to have some action. Webb was able to get in there. He's got that underhook again, but Cherry does a nice job of kind of shooting in on that, and but they're out of bounds. So Webb may have, let's see how his conditioning goes here. This is his first match of the year, and so both guys shot, and they kind of hit like rams there, and Webb ends up going to his back and gives up 2-point takedown, and is now looks like he's on his back and just gave up a fall. So up 4-0, and both shot, and unfortunately gave up 2 points and went to his back, and so that was a quick turn of events. So North Linn gets a fall, and they take the team dual lead at 20-18. We're on 152 pounds for Independence's senior Jared Orr versus what looks to be Austin West. And don't know much about Austin West, but Orr has had a good season, been wrestling well, and so nice snap by Orr, and West comes up, but he comes up to his knees, and Orr does a great job of just tossing him onto his back, and there's a fall. So Orr did a great job snapping him down, and West came up. It didn't come up far enough, and he got tossed to his knees, and so Jared Orr with a fall victory for Independence. Next up for Independence is 160 pounds Seth House, and he is going to, they are listed as open, so he's going to be winner by forfeit victory. So that does take our team score to 30-20. Up next, 170-pound Cole Davis. Cole is a sophomore, and looks like they're going to be open at that weight as well. So Cole Davis is going to win by a forfeit victory. So that does improve our dual score to 30-6-20 over North Linn. Up next, 182 pounds, and Joe Kaiser of Independence. He has started off the year 195 pounds and moved down to 182 and won a wrestle off, and so he's going to have Quentin Reckemer, and so we'll get things started here. So Kaiser is a junior, and certainly has some fair amount of experience. So athletic kid. So Reckemer on a partial shot, and kind of trying to drag Kaiser by. Kaiser stays pretty square, good position. So Kaiser with an overhook on with his left arm, and there's a bit of a high cross attempt by Reckemer, but Kaiser is able to easily parry that and step away, and they both go out of bounds. So back to the middle, and we'll get things going. The duel, which has been fairly quick here because of some falls and open weights. But so these two are just going to kind of stay in right in the middle, and Reckemer tries a little pass by, and then it was going to grab a bit of a high cross into a single, and Kaiser does a nice job of again keeping on defense, and so Kaiser with a double attempt on his own, nice and quick, but just not quite able to get that. There's a reshot by Reckemer, and Kaiser is able to get his hips back, but not quite able to get his whizzer in, and Reckemer does a nice job of taking Kaiser down. So Quentin Reckemer, 182-pounder for North Linn, takes a 2-0 lead over Joe Kaiser. Kaiser's looking to base up, but Reckemer's got working on that arm, and as he was wrenching and get out, actually took it well past 90 on that, so they're going to stop that, and now we're going to have a little blood timeout, it looks like. So it's a 2-0 match, so had some nice shots and some reshots, and in the end, so far Quentin Reckemer was able to score that takedown. So a lot of time left, and a lot of match. So this duel is yet to be decided. Really, it's a 16-point lead, and with 3 matches to go. But we do have Independence in the lead, so we're going to cut the blood timeout and get back going. So Kaiser in the down position. Set and off the whistle. Kaiser tries the post. Now he's going to try to tripod his way up and able to get to his feet, but not able to control those hands and get out. So that's going to end that first period. Looks like it's going to be Reckermer's choice, and he's going to defer. So Kaiser's going to go ahead and choose down. Kaiser going to have to go to work here and see if he can get on the scoreboard himself. So posted up, just not quite able to clear that near arm, and so Reckermer keeps that wrist and he's working on wrenching that out of there, which he is able to. Kaiser able to get to his hips, but he's going to turn in, and there he goes. Was able to do that, so did a really nice job of turning in and getting that 1 point. So Kaiser out, and there's a single leg attempt, but it kind of stayed down there a little bit, and Reckermer able to get a reshot on his own and garner the takedown. So Kaiser had a nice shot, but just not able to finish that. And so Reckermer had a reshot and was able to finish that, and that takes that match score 4-1. And Reckermer once again working on that near arm and trying to pull that out, and he is, and puts it on Kaiser's back. Kaiser last time was able to base up, but Reckermer's doing a better job of staying over top of Kaiser's hips and trying to keep his hips low. And so Kaiser is going to have to get to work and get those hips out now. Reckermer's pulling that arm over. And he's going to work for a bit of a hammerlock position, and but it kind of loses that arm. And Kaiser, though, head on the ground, out on the mat, really not able to come up from that. So 30 seconds to go here in the second period. 182 pounds. 4-1. So we'll get Reckermer's done a pretty good job here of riding Kaiser out on this period. There's 4.9 seconds to go. So if Kaiser can get a quick escape, cut into this lead, but gonna have to get some good action off the whistle. So it's going to take us into this second period. We're going to move on to our third period. I believe it's Reckermer's choice. He's going to choose neutral position. And Kaiser's actually had some nice shots on him, but just not able to finish. And Reckermer's had some he's countered him twice for takedowns. So that gets us to where we're at. There's a half-shot attempt by Reckermer. Kaiser has been a pretty good job of lowering his hips, but just not quite able to get his hips through the North Linn wrestler. Again, it's the first time for Kaiser at 182 pounds, so a bit of a weight cut for him down there, so you might feel a little bit of that. And there's a couple shot attempts, and was able to really just get that ankle. It's nice. He initially hit a high crotch stomp and then went into a slide single and was able to catch Kaiser leaning the other way. And so we're back into the same position. And once again, Reckermer really working on that arm. And Kaiser does a nice job of standing up. Oh, we're going to call some potential dangers. So that's one where it probably worked against us, unfortunately. He was got his hips out, was going to maybe get an escape, but we do have a 6-1 match score, and we're going to take a blood timeout. So again, we like to thank our sponsors, and Adams Family Furniture, Brett Adams, longtime Independence head coach, Cliff Keene Athletics, Science Charlie's, Eshin Tarpey Napa, Home Indeed, Indy Mac Club, the Iowa High School Sports Network, Shannon Wrestling Tournaments, Signs and More, Smith D&L Insurance, and The Predicament. So we thank them for their sponsorship. So we're going to continue here at 182 pounds in the CPU duels, and it's Independence versus North Linn, our first duel of the night. And so start here, the 1 minute to go in the third period. And there's a great shot by Kaiser, and got deep on his hips, but just not quite able to finish that. And but a really nice shot. So got to keep working some of those, and Joe Kaiser continuing to wrestle hard and continue to try to score here in a close and tight match that for Independence. Mustangs have quite a bit of wrestling here in the next 3 days, as they have 3 duels this evening. There's a shot by Reckmer, and so we're going to get it stopped. So I think they're going to call a figure 4 on the head, and so that is a 1-point technical violation. That does take a 7-2 to match for. And so there's a Reckmer does a nice job of kind of stepping to his left and then shooting back to the right and catching Kaiser leaning, but Kaiser did a better job there of countering. And but unfortunately, I think we're going to come to the end of this with just a little too late, and indeed that's what it is. So we have a 7-2 victory of Quentin Reckmer at 182 pounds over Joe Kaiser of Independence. That will take the dual meet score, Independence 36 with North Linn of 23. We're on to 195 pounds, where Independence is Taden Friedhoff has a winner by forfeit, and up next would be 220 pound for Independence is Hunter Crawford Sr., and they are listed as open as well there. I can't imagine if they didn't wrestle 185 that they'll wrestle 220, and they don't. So that's it. So at the end of that duel, we have Independence 48 and North Linn 23. And so Independence able to win in this first duel. And next up, I don't recall if we have Center Point or Marion, but one of those in our next duel. So should probably see if we can get some, we may get some JV matches in, so stay tuned.